Hey, it's Lily, welcome back to another video, or hello if you are new, and welcome to a very brand new series on my channel. I'm really excited to be starting a new series because I just spent like 50 some episodes on one single project and it was just a lot. It was a lot of work, it was a lot of time, it was like full year of building and then another nearly full year of releasing the episodes, and so here we are in a brand new zoo, quite a bit smaller, I'm hoping, than my previous project. So once again, I do not have a name for it, but this is my New England zoo that I spoke about in my previous builds, speed build narrations. This zoo is meant to be, as the name suggests, a zoo in New England, specifically on the coast, and a lot of my references have been Vermont, so that's kind of the theme that we're going with, and so far I've got maybe about half, somewhere between 1/3 and a half of the zoo done, and my final episode for Summit Sanctuary is due to be released in just over a week from when I'm recording this narration, so I gotta get moving and make sure that my episodes go out on time, but I have already put together like 7-ish episodes of this zoo. I'm hoping, I am planning for this zoo to be much shorter of a series than my previous zoo, so probably I'm gonna shoot for about 25 episodes. That's the goal. We'll see how that comes, but I am gonna take a lot more liberties with editing, so I'm gonna skip a lot of this stuff you might have noticed. This is a diorama zoo, which I will talk about in a moment, but I've already cut out a majority of the landscaping that I did to get to this point, and so that's kind of going to be the trend going forward. A lot of my repetitive things I'm just not going to include. I feel like that's best, especially because this zoo is going to be more of a wildlife sanctuary, I guess. Ironically, because my last zoo was called Summit Sanctuary, it was also meant to be like a conservation sanctuary. This one, however, I'm actually not going to have any proper habitats, I think. Maybe one or two. But basically, this is just going to be like a little snapshot of a small town in the New England area. It's already got like a little hiking trail, ski resort. I plan to do a little coastal town, some beach area, and then I'm gonna do some kind of like jetty that has houses and things in the harbor itself, you know, so some of these houses and buildings are going to be on the water, and I think that's where I'm gonna do maybe my only habit. I haven't decided if I want to go this route yet, but because I've been debating about whether I want to do like a pseudo Boston aquarium, the New England aquarium, in this zoo, but if I don't do that, then the sea lions that I'm gonna have in this area are gonna be free. But if I do end up doing more of an aquarium type building on the jetty, on the actual like dock itself, then I will probably have sea lions in that building, and they'll be a little bit more contained. So yeah, that's the whole plan. Now I feel like I need to back up a little bit and talk about my zoo, the reason I'm doing this, all the things. So I am from New York, upstate New York, which is not the New England area, but it is very close, and I feel like the New England vibe is very familiar to me. A lot of it feels like home, and I just really like it. It feels perfect, especially going into the fall. I mean, we're a little late, we're nearly just about going into winter here, but that's okay. It just feels like a good time to do a New England zoo because fall and the winter in the New England area are just particularly nice. There's a lot of things to do. It's very cold, obviously. It's on the coast and it's cold there in the north, but yeah, it's got like the skiing stuff and I just really like it. So I wanted to build a zoo in this environment, and so what I chose to do was basically it's not a zoo again. My last zoo was mostly a zoo. There were habitats and walkways and other things to do besides like zoo attraction things, but this zoo is not going to be a zoo at all. It's going to have, as I said, maybe one habitat at most, and very wild. I'm gonna natural habitats. So as you can see, I skipped forward quite a bit and I did some landscaping. I knew that I was gonna be a little bit more heavy with my editing, so I just decided not to record a majority of my landscaping, and then I did a little bit more than I thought because I didn't realize I also didn't record me building this red bridge here, which feels very Vermont. They have a lot of these bridges. Mostly they're train bridges, but we're gonna pretend and the guests are gonna walk over them. And so this curvature is where the guests are gonna enter, and then they'll go down the bridge and into the coastal town of my zoo, which is not named yet. Yeah, I kind of mentioned already, the whole idea is that I wanted to keep it really natural, really realistic in a way. I debated about going hyper realistic in the sense of like planning out where things would actually grow. I have a degree in biology, so that feels very in line with something that I would spend a lot of time doing. However, I think if I do that, I need to make it a lot smaller of a scale because I just couldn't, you know, I started to do it at some point and then I realized pretty quickly that that would be way more of a detailed project than I was really hoping to do. In this particular zoo, I wanted it to be smaller and not as much work as my previous zoo. So I did compromise. It isn't hyper realistic in the sense that like grass only grows where grass would grow, but I did go through extensively. I actually spent a lot of time going through the list of naturally occurring plants in the New England area, like specifically Vermont. I was looking at the Acadia National Forest for all of their natural plants, and they have some great resources on their website that kind of directed me to some master lists. And so I spent a lot of time going through the options available in Planet Zoo, and I have created now a list of things that are actually naturally occurring in this New England area, and those are the only things that I'm going to be using in this zoo, with like 2 exceptions. One of them is the buffalo grass because it looks good, okay, and it looks like normal grass. There's so many grasses in this area. There's no reason that I can't just pretend that it's something else, because it's not that hyper specific in its looks. It's just grass. And so there's buffalo grass everywhere, and that it does not occur naturally in the New England environment, but that's okay. As I said, we're going to pretend it's another grass. And then the other exception is a couple dry bushes that I used for the ski resort, because I obviously had to make that wintry, and the rest of my zoo is more in line with like a fall time period. So yeah, other than that though, all of even the rocks, everything is naturally occurring to New England, and I'm really excited to just showcase this area that I just really love. And so that brings us just about to the end of the episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!